Hey, Ben Bierce here with Brave Investigations. Today, let's talk about GPS data in civil litigation surrounding commercial vehicle crashes. In today's fast-paced world, technology has become indispensable, not only in our everyday lives, but in the legal realm as well. When it comes to commercial vehicle crashes, GPS data, especially from cell phones, has proven crucial in civil litigation. This data has proven valuable in reconstructing events, helping assign liability, and presenting evidence in court. The data from the defendant and from the plaintiff can be equally valuable. Either party can potentially benefit from phone GPS data. GPS data, or global positioning system data from cell phones, can provide a wealth of information about the whereabouts and the movement of individuals. This data is collected through GPS receivers embedded in cell phones that are in constant communication with satellites to determine the device's location. Cell phone GPS data should not be confused with cell site or cell tower location obtained through cell phone records. Cell site data comes from the cell phone records obtained from the cell phone companies through a subpoena or court order, whereas the GPS data comes through a forensic examination of the phone itself. This phone examination can be through consent or a court order. The cell site data in the cell phone records shows the location of the cell site that the phone connected with during a certain connection, whereas the GPS data from the cell phone itself shows the exact location of the phone at the time. This video will focus on the GPS data collected from the phone through a forensic examination. GPS data from cell phones often includes historic locations, timestamps, and other metadata that can be extremely valuable in reconstructing events that led up to a commercial vehicle crash. Despite some limitations, such as accuracy issues in densely populated urban areas or indoors, GPS data remains a valuable tool in accident investigations. In commercial vehicle accident cases where the stakes are very high, cell phone GPS data can play a pivotal role in the establishment of the sequence of events that led up to the crash. By analyzing GPS data, investigators can corroborate or refute witness testimony, uncover discrepancies in the accounts of the accident, and ultimately may help move the needle in the settlement or the judgment. For example, GPS data can reveal that a truck driver was exceeding the speed limit just prior to the crash, or that they deviated from their designated route. This data can be invaluable in showing misconduct or negligence on the part of the driver or the company. GPS data can be equally valuable to defendants in that it can show discrepancies or potential misconduct on the part of the plaintiff. Obtaining cell phone data in commercial vehicle crashes requires careful consideration of legal and procedural requirements. Depending on the jurisdiction and the specifics of the case, obtaining GPS data from cell phones may require a court order, subpoena, or consent on the part of the owner of the phone. Once the legal hurdles are cleared, investigators can employ various methods to preserve and obtain cell phone data. This may include extracting data directly from the device in the form of a forensic image, obtaining records from cloud service providers, and utilizing specialized forensic software for the analysis. Many times, the parties will agree upon a protocol, which will dictate the who, what, when, where, and how of the extraction of the forensic image from the phone. Additionally, the protocol may lay out what can and cannot be produced from the forensic image. Obtaining a forensic image is an all or nothing venture. We can't limit the extraction, but we can limit production. For example, the protocol may limit production on all artifacts 1 week before and after the crash. and limit the types of data to location-based data, application usage, photos, videos, etc. Cell phones contain a significant amount of personal data. Forensic examiners regularly agree to a non-disclosure agreement to protect that data that's in their hands. Analyzing GPS data obtained from cell phones requires a combination of technical expertise, investigative acumen, and proper forensic tools. Investigators must meticulously examine the data, taking into consideration accuracy, timestamps, and other contextual information. By examining the GPS data, investigators can reconstruct the events leading up to the crash, map the routes taken by the vehicles involved, and identify any deviations or anomalies that may have contributed to the crash. This analysis can provide valuable insights into the circumstances surrounding the crash and bring the case to a favorable conclusion. Once the GPS data has been collected and analyzed, it can be presented as evidence in legal proceedings, such as civil lawsuits or insurance claims. By leveraging GPS data effectively, attorneys, through their forensic experts, can strengthen their case, support key arguments, and ultimately secure a favorable outcome for their clients. In court, GPS data can be used to create visual aids, such as maps or timelines, that illustrate the sequence of events leading up to the crash. This visual representation can be extremely persuasive to judges and juries, helping them understand the complexities of the case and reach a well-informed decision. To illustrate the practical application of GPS data in civil litigation, let's consider a few scenarios based on actual cases that I worked on. I will keep the details to a minimum, but the value should be evident. In one case, I was able to reconstruct one driver's history over a 2-week period to show that he worked 18-hour days 7 of the 10 days prior to the crash. The driver had a habit of logging himself as off-duty while his trailer was being unloaded, cleaned, and loaded. He should have been logging himself as on-duty, not driving. Had he logged his time correctly, he would have exceeded his regulatory daily limits, and his exhaustion likely contributed to the crash. Once this data was revealed, the case quickly settled to the benefit of the plaintiff. In another case, the GPS data from the plaintiff's phone showed that she was on the phone at the time of a crash with a tractor-trailer, and this was contrary to her statement in a sworn deposition. The GPS data showed that the ending time of the call was at the same time as the GPS data at the scene of the crash. Further examination of the GPS data showed that the plaintiff was engaged in this call from her driveway all the way to the crash scene. Once this data was revealed, the case quickly settled to the advantage of the defendant. In an interesting tractor-trailer case with multiple defendants, some of the defendants wanted to show that the crash was the fault of the driver and the trucking company and not of the other defendants. The crash occurred in a construction zone where traffic had been stopped. The driver crashed into the back of the line, and there were no skid marks or any other indication of braking prior to impact. I reconstructed the driver's trips for 2 months prior to the crash and showed that the driver passed through the same construction zone 6 times in the 2 months prior to the crash. The driver should have been familiar with the construction zone and the regular stoppage of traffic at this construction zone. Additionally, reconstructing the driver's trips showed that he was exceeding his regulatory limits, and exhaustion likely contributed to the crash. The case settled quickly to the benefit of these defendants, but the plaintiff still won a sizable judgment from the trucking company. In conclusion, GPS data obtained from cell phones has emerged as a powerful tool in commercial vehicle crash litigation. GPS data provides valuable insights into the circumstances surrounding commercial vehicle crashes and helps bring about appropriate settlements. By leveraging GPS data, attorneys and their investigators can strengthen their cases, support key arguments, and ultimately achieve justice for their clients. As technology continues to evolve, the role of GPS data in accident investigations will become only more prominent. This underscores the importance of staying abreast of this technology. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me through the website at braveinvestigations.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day.